Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Also, if you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Daily Compliance News for October 3, 2024, the Grewal Steps Down edition. And we begin with that story from the Wall Street Journal as SEC Enforcement Director who pushed for big fines steps down. Grewal is leaving the agency at the end of the week. He was a former New Jersey Attorney General and was selected to serve as the Director of Enforcement at the SEC. He frequently said he sought to restore trust in Wall Street and the government. And while he believed past enforcement efforts had not effectively deterred wrongdoing, under his watch, the SEC brought more than 2,400 enforcement actions, imposed more than $20 billion in fines. Next up from the Wall Street Journal, this time CFO Journal, there is a new CPA path emerging as states try to stem the accounting shortage. They're considering allowing prospective accountants to bypass a 5th year of school, one of the barriers to entry contributing to the shortage of workers in the field. Under a proposal by 2 national accounting groups, CPA candidates can use an additional year of work experience instead of schoolwork to demonstrate professional and technical skill. This on top of a bachelor's degree, a passing grade on the qualifying exam, and 1 year of work. Many prospects say they are still daunted by the barrier of entry, including up to 150 hours of college credit, which is essentially a master's degree. And entry-level salaries are generally lower than tech and banking companies. Our third article also comes from the Wall Street Journal, also from the Risk and Compliance Journal. This time, David Smagala reporting that Ecuador's ex-comptroller gets a 10-year sentence for accepting bribes and corruption, and it's in the Odebrecht case from 2015 time range. He got 3 years of supervised probation or supervised release and forfeited $16.5 million. So the ghost of Odebrecht lives on. Our final story comes to us from PYMNTS, a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News, which finds that fintechs and financial institutions are on common ground about scaling up real-time compliance. And what that means is transaction monitoring. So when you have financial institution and fintech companies working towards the same goal, we hopefully will have a system in the next few years that will be able to monitor in real time financial transactions to detect corruption. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.